Hey guys, it's Patrick and welcome to Izumo Station in Izumo in the Shumani Prefecture in Japan. Now, Izumo Station is located on the southwest region of Japan, and this is where our journey is going to start today. And we're really excited because today we're going to take Japan's only remaining regularly scheduled overnight train here from Izumo to Tokyo aboard the Sunrise Express. And this train is 12 hours from here to Tokyo. And so let's take a look here at the station. It's a kind of a small station. And when you walk in to the right, you've got a gift shop here where you can buy some gifts before getting on the train. There's a small restaurant next to it. And then there's a waiting room. And then you'll see right across, there's a 7-Eleven. And then beyond the pillars are the ticket machines where you'll pick up your tickets. Now, these tickets are really hard to get. And so we booked these tickets 30 days when it opened prior to today's date. And then we used our confirmation number, our credit card, and our passports to pick up the tickets in the green machines. Now, I want to show you something funny because we are taking a 12-hour train ride. There's no food on board. And you can buy ekibens from that shop that's when you walk in, but they were all sold out by the time we got there. And so it kind of stinks. We had to find some other place, but that's where you would get your ekibens for your trip. Now, across from the ticket station are the restrooms, but also a whole bunch of shops in this little retail space here where you can find even more goods to take with you home or take with you on your journey. And so there's kind of some cool places here just to kind of shop before you get on the train. And you can see here there's a pastry place here where you can get some pastries before you board your train. So I thought it was kind of cool just to have options to shop and grab a little bit of food before heading upstairs and taking off on the Sunrise Express. Now, as we're walking through here, you'll see we're going to go through these open doors here. And to the right is that waiting room. And then the left is the restaurant or little cafe. And right across from there are the ticket stalls. So it's 40 minutes before our train arrives. And I decided to go up to the platform because there was a special gift or a special thing that I wanted to get from this train that you can only get if you're like the first couple of people on. And you'll see what I mean here in a minute. But here's the platform here. I think we're on platform 2. And what's cool here is you've got these stickers here that tells you where the door for the train is going to open. So we're on the Sunrise Izumo, and this is where car 6 is going to stop, or at least the door for car 6 is going to stop. And then you have other stickers as you go back. And what's a little unique about this train is the head of the train that's going to go all the way to Tokyo. That's going to be car 7. And then the tail of the train, the end of the train, is going to be car 1, which is kind of odd, but it makes sense when you're going the other direction. If you're going from Tokyo down to Izumo, train 1 will be the head, and then train car 7 will be the tail. And so if we look on the ground here, there's also this limited express, it looks like Ginga long distance train. So car 5's door is going to open here. And so it makes it super easy. We see this other train here, this limited express, the Yakumo Limited Express. We're going to see that train here a bit because that's actually the first train that's going to show up. And then the Sunrise Express is going to show up. We've got some vending machines to the right, and we see here on the board here at 6:57, the Sunrise Izumo is what we're going to take to Tokyo, and that first one there at 6:32 is that Yakumo Limited Express, which is going to come before our train. And so you see on the other side, we've got the same stickers, but we're not using that platform. So we've got the Super Mazaki train, the Sunrise Izumo, and then that Limited Express train as well. So that's where the doors are going to open. So it makes it easier to know where you need to stand. This is a 4-train platform. So 4 trains can theoretically stop at the station at the same time. And just walking down the station here, is really cool just to see how it all works. And one unique thing here is I'm like standing on here, Izumo, the Sunrise Izumo car 3, because car 3 is where I'm going to get my souvenir. The problem is I didn't think ahead, because actually I needed to be at car door 4, not 3, and we'll talk about why in a minute. So if we walk all the way down, I'm walking, you could probably say south of the station, all the way down to car 1 here. Just to get a little bit of a view here, we've got the stairs here that you can come up from the first floor station up to the platform, and then vice versa. And what's cool about Japan is you have a whole bunch of just interesting trains. And this is one of those trains as well. I haven't seen it, but here's the door for car 1 for the Sunrise Izumo. And then the platform, and just kind of taking a look here at just the beauty of Izumo. It is, 6:15-ish, and so the sun is setting over this city, and it gives us some really beautiful views of the city that we've traveled to. And so a little bit about why I'm up here on the platform so early, and that's because there's a souvenir on board that you can get. And it's really not a souvenir. It's actually, there's a practical purpose for it. But this practical purpose souvenir you can only get if you're like one of the first ones to get on at its terminals. So Izumo Station is the start of this journey, and then Tokyo would be the start of the other side of this journey. And so if you're not at one of those stations, it could be hard to get this souvenir because there's limited amounts. And once they're gone for the train ride, they are completely gone for the rest of the train ride. So if you get on later down the stations, you might not have a chance to pick one up. And so I wanted to make sure I did. We actually trained in a couple hours ago from, I think, 2 hours away. So we, because we wanted to be at the very first station, but I could have gotten on this train later down the line. So the only reason why we're here is because I wanted the souvenir. Here's that limited express train. It came in while we were waiting, so it's cool to see this other train. I kind of thought it was ours just because the front of it looks like ours in a sense, but then I noticed that there were no bunks and it was all seats, and so I knew it wasn't ours. But this is the Yakumo Limited Express. Limited Express means that this will skip a few stations. A local line will stop at every station on the line, but a Limited Express will skip certain stations along the line. And the interesting thing was, I almost thought this was our train because it said Okayama. It was going to go to Okayama, and our train goes to Okayama as well. So it was just a funny coincidence. This is going to leave 20 minutes before and probably get there a little faster than our train because our train's a little slow. But yeah, so it's kind of cool there. You see another train at the far end. That's the, I think that's the local train as well. And right now we're just waiting for the train to come. And so what's cool about this train is Japan's only remaining regularly scheduled overnight train. And so everybody's excited about it. So you see across the way people with their iPads and their phones recording as the train comes from the train yard. And you see people on our side of the station or the platform waiting for the train to come. And so yeah, so here it comes. I'm not moving from my spot, so I'm not going to get a great picture of it because I want to get my souvenir here. But here's the train, the Sunrise Express. The line that we're going to be on is the Sunrise Izumo, and we'll talk about more about why it's called the Sunrise Express and Sunrise Izumo in a minute. But here's the train, and we're all anxiously waiting for the doors to open here in car 4. And the reason why we're in car 4 is because the machine that we're going to get the souvenir is actually in car 3, but it's closer to car 4. So you'll see here, we go in and then we make a right. And as we make a right, we go into car 3. And then the machine is right here, and there's two people in front of me. I would have been the first one if I knew I was supposed to stand at car 4 instead of car 3's door. But I stood on car 3's door thinking that that was where I needed to be, but I actually needed to be in car 4's door. So the souvenir that I wanted to get is actually a practical thing that is not a souvenir. But if you want to take a shower on this train, you actually need to buy a shower card. And that's what I'm buying right now. So it's 330 yen for the shower card. And the unique thing about the shower card is it gives you 2 minutes, I think, of hot water, or maybe it's 5 minutes. Don't quote me on it, but it gives you a certain amount of hot water. So you get 30 minutes in the shower, but then it's just cold water. And so if you want hot water, you have to have this card. Once they set out this card, you can't get this card. And so I kind of wanted the card, not because I wanted to take a shower, but because I wanted to use it as a souvenir because it says Sunrise Express on the card. So I think it's a cool souvenir. All right, so I got my cards here. I'm moving down car 3 because our sleeper car is in car 6. And so the only way to get out is to go down car 3, out of the train, and then go all the way back up around because people behind me were also getting a shower card. And so if you see here, you can kind of see in the window here, these are the individual bunk rooms or the individual rooms. And then we've got car 4. This is where I went in to go get that shower card. And then we keep on walking to car 5. And then, like I said, I think our car was car 6. Yeah, car 6. If you see here in the windows, you can kind of see the Nobinobis. The Nobinobis is a class on this train. There's no seats. It's basically a carpeted, hard carpet area. So here's car 6, and this is our train car. But the Nobinobi is kind of where you lay down, and that's kind of how you sit for the rest of your train. Okay, so I'm a little worried that I'm going to miss this train. So I wanted to see the front of the train and get some pictures of the train. So this is car 7. This is going to be the front of the train all the way up to Tokyo. Well, to Okayama. Let's see, here I'm taking a photo just like a noob that really likes trains. And taking some video here, which the video sucked, so that's why it's not on here. But Sunrise Express, car 7, and we really had like 5 or 6 minutes, so we were okay. But I was like rushing because I just didn't want to like be trapped, right? And so I'm walking back to our car to get into our car and get it ready to leave Izumo Station. All right, so here we go. We're getting in. And then we're in a smoking room. We're actually in a bunk room, which is kind of rare because there's like 4 or 8, I can't remember, but like 4 or 8 bunk rooms here. And you'll see here as we turn in that here's the bunk. So we got the top bunk, and then we'll have the bottom bunk. We'll give you a better look here in a second. So here's the top bunk. Here's the bottom bunk. And the bottom bunk, you can take the middle out and have 2 seats facing each other. But we just kept it down and just lay the entire time because it was, like I said, 6:30, 6:45. And so we were ready to just lay down for the rest of the trip here. And so we got ourselves settled in. We got our shower card. We figured out where to put all of our luggage. There's not a lot of room for luggage. And then we kind of sat back and we got ready to roll out of the station here at exactly 6:57. These trains, especially at their starts, always run on time. And so right at 6:57, we are leaving the station here in Izumo on our way to Tokyo. We'll be in Tokyo just over, I think, 12 hours. So we'll be in Tokyo at a little after 7 a.m. the next morning. So yeah, really exciting, really excited really just to be on this train because I really enjoy trains, and then combine that with the sleeper and being able to transit all the way from really not the southernest point in Japan, but a southern point all the way up to Tokyo is kind of a cool experience for me. So That's where we are, and we can see the beautiful town of Izumo as we head up the kind of coast. We're not actually going to be on the coast. We're going to be a little inland, but we are kind of on the west coast of Japan rather than the east coast of Japan. And so the cool thing about this is a 7-car train, and it's moving all the way up. We're gonna hug the west coast of Japan, and then we're gonna take a turn inwards towards the east coast of Japan, and then up towards Okayama, Kyoto, Osaka, and then finally Tokyo. But let's listen in to the announcements here as we depart Izumo on our way to Tokyo.
Thank you very much for using our limited express sleeper train service, Sunrise Izumo, today. This is the sleeper limited express, Sunrise Izumo, bound for Tokyo. We will be stopping at Shinji, Matsue, Yasugi, Yonago, Niimi, Michu Takahashi, Kurashiki, Okayama, Himeji, Sannomiya, Osaka, Shizuoka, Fuji, Numazu, Atami, and Yokohama stations, before arriving at the Tokyo terminal. Smoking is prohibited on this train, except in the designated smoking compartments. The next stop is Shinji. After leaving Shinji, we will be stopping at Matsue.
So I find it so cool that they speak in Japanese and English, even though they don't really have to speak in English at all. So you see here some really nice views of Lake Shinji on our way up to the Shinji station, our first stop here on the Sunrise Express. And so it's really a nice photo here as we travel north to Tokyo. And so this is kind of the last time you're going to see daylight until 5-ish a.m. when you get closer to Tokyo. And so I'm just enjoying the sights here as we leave Izumo on our way to Shinji. So let's take a look here at just some of the compartments of the train. I didn't videotape the entire train because there were already people on it, but here is one of those single rooms here. You can see it's quite small. They try to fit one on each side of the train here, but it's still kind of cozy. I wouldn't bring any big luggage cases because there's just no space for it. So ship those to Tokyo if you need to. But otherwise, if you have a carry-on, it's a great place to put that. We're passing by the Nobinobis here. These are just like literally square rectangle sections of hard carpet for you to lay down. There is a little bit of partition between you and the person next to you, but that's about it. But yeah, so it is an option there. And then we're moving from car 5, I think, to 4. And in car 4, we've got some more rooms. These rooms, the doors were all closed, so I didn't want to go in there. Because we were already on our way and I didn't know which rooms were open, which ones aren't. So these are some other rooms. Some of these rooms may just be single rooms, and those are the easier ones to get of all the room types. The Nobinobis are hard because they are included on the JR pass, and so a lot of people use them. We do have one vending machine here, so this is the vending machine. I did buy a Coke at some point in the journey, and then here's that laundry cart. What was surprising to me is that when we left our first station, they weren't sold out. It took 2 stations, I think, before they sold out. So I could have gotten on a little later, but by the time we were in our 3rd station, there was no more. So I knew that. But this is how the shower card works. Buy 1 shower card per person before using the shower. You won't get a refund and all of that. here's the tour of our room, or small tour of the room here. I was just going to show you here that there's only one outlet. I always bring this outlet surge protector thing so that I can put some more, outlets too. But here's my space. Not a lot of room. I did bring a fan, so if you're going to take this train, bring a fan because it'll just help with the air circulation. So yeah, that's the cozy room. There's a place where you can hang your stuff. And yeah. So I took an hour nap and then I woke up right about 10:15 because at 10:30 we arrived in Okayama Station. And this is a little unique because in Okayama Station, this is where two trains become one. I said that we are on the Sunrise Izumo, but there's also the Sunrise Seto. The Sunrise Seto begins in Takamatsu, and in Takamatsu it leaves and it joins us here in Okayama Station. And so when both trains get to Okayama Station, they are coupled together and they go up north to Tokyo as a 14-car train. So 2 7-car trains get attached together here in Okayama and then head up to Tokyo. So I think it's really cool. On the opposite wave, going from Tokyo down to Izumo and Takamatsu, they get decoupled here in Okayama and then become 2 7-car trains. So I didn't know how long we were here. We were actually here for 4 minutes. So we weren't here for long, but I kind of rushed over to kind of see what they were doing. But unfortunately, by the time I got there, they already coupled the 2 trains. So you can see far from us is the 7-car Sunrise Seto. And then on the left-hand side here in a moment, you're going to see the Sunrise Izumo. But this is where they get coupled up. And it's kind of cool because there's only 2 engineers. There's 2 engineers that will couple these 2 trains together. And they do it in 4 minutes. So our train gets in at 10:30, and then this entire 14-car train leaves at 10:34, 4 minutes later. And so I get a little worried. So I jump right back into the train and just wait. And, I didn't want to miss the train. So I just stood here peeking out a little bit, not peeking out a little bit. Now I've got experience, right? So I know what it is, and really I didn't need to be nervous, right? Because I'll hear the sounds and then I'll know I have to get in. But this is Okayama Station here, kind of quiet because it is 10:34 at night, and at 10:34 exactly the doors close and this 14-car train heads all the way up to Tokyo. And so that's what we're doing right now. Yeah, it's a really cool experience. I just enjoy trains normally, but it's kind of cool to see this kind of thing go together. And you'll see here the 2 engineers walking up. So those are the 2 engineers that put this 2 7-car trains together into this 14-car train moving up to Tokyo. At this point, I fell asleep, and I actually fell asleep all the way until we got pretty much close to Tokyo. I didn't get up early enough. So this is the sights of Tokyo. And yeah, we're going to get off here very soon, but let's listen to the announcements as we move into Tokyo.
ご乗車ありがとうございました。まもなく終点東京です。新幹線、山手線、京浜東北線、中央線、上野東京ライン、総武快速線、京葉線と地下鉄丸ノ内線はお乗り換えです。お降りの際は車内にお忘れ物のないようお手回り品にご注意ください。サンライズ瀬戸号およびサンライズ出雲号をご利用くださいましてありがとうございました。
Attention, please. We will soon be arriving at the Tokyo terminal. Please change here for the Shinkansen, Yamanote, Keihin Tohoku, Chuo, Ueno Tokyo, Sobu Rapid, Keio, and Tokyo Metro Marunouchi lines. Please be careful not to leave anything behind. Thank you very much for using the Sunrise Seto and Sunrise Izumo today. serving you again.
So here we arrive into Tokyo, and it's our time to get off. So I'm off the train here. It's kind of sad because it was a 12-hour train ride, but it felt like we were on there for like 30 minutes. And so, you know, if this is something that you really want to do, I would suggest doing it. Now, at the time of the recording, I will tell you that this will no longer be Japan's only overnight train, because JR East has announced that they are planning on releasing their own train. This is ran by JR West. Well, JR West and JR East, I guess, because by the time we get to the JR East section, they take over. But anyways, semantics. JR West has this train. JR East will have their own train coming in 2026. So super excited about that. And you can see here, things are getting very busy here at Tokyo Station. This is the main station here in Tokyo. And so I'm just trying to get to the front of this train just to show you the front, or I guess see it one more time before it leaves. You can see here's the Nobinobis here, and this is again the Sunrise Seto, right? So the Sunrise Seto is at the beginning of their train. Sunrise Izumo is the back of the train, and so this would be car 13, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And so that's kind of how this works. When it goes in reverse, it goes in, I say reverse, but when it goes back towards Izumo and Takamatsu, it will run, train 1 will be the head, train 14 will be the tail, and then they'll split off in Okayama. One thing to note is if you're traveling north towards Tokyo, this train does make a stop in Osaka. So if you're in Osaka, you could theoretically take this from Osaka to Tokyo. On the reverse, going down to Izumo or Takamatsu, it does not stop at Osaka, which is kind of interesting there. So that's the one stop where it's kind of reversed. So here's the front end of the Sunrise Seto. And it's a long 14-car train. And taking some last minute photos, and you see the other person there also taking photos too. And I was waiting for this train to leave. It took a while for it to leave because they were making sure nobody's, snuck on the train. It's going to go to the rail yard, and then it will probably be cleaned and then come back at 8 p.m., I think, or 9 p.m. For the train back to Izumo and Takamatsu. There's the connector between the Izumo and the Seto. And then the train is off for cleaning until later tonight. So it's, it's a very long train. I mean, a lot of trains in Tokyo and Japan are long, but there goes the Sunrise Express. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a like and a subscribe and share it with people who are traveling to Japan and want to also take it. I just wanted to show you this quick. This is us getting on the Tokyo Metro. Actually, we're on the JR East lines, but in Tokyo, and it's like packed. So I guess I can't complain about the small compartment that we're in for the duration of our ride, but it's a packed train here when you're getting into Tokyo, especially at 7 a.m. because that's kind of the start of commuting time in the Tokyo Metro area. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and really hope that you'll get a chance to ride on this awesome train at some point in time. Let me know what you thought about this video. Put it in the comment section below, and we'll see you next time.